Fairfield, Texas is home of the Eagles. It is also home to Mr. Wade, who has been an educator at Fairfield High School for 42 years now.
Well, when you come out of college, you have to look for a job and so forth. And one of the influences in my life was my head football coach when I was in high school. And he knew a guy by the name of Joe Johnston, who had just accepted the head football and athletic director's job here in Fairfield. And so we got in contact, and Coach Johnston hired me to come to Fairfield. I'm going to miss the daily contact with students and teachers. Especially, I have some teachers that I taught in school, or that I was assistant principal or principal when they came through. There's one that I had who was in my very first class when I was teaching 7th grade, and that's Miss Stone.
My 7th grade year was Mr. Wade's first year to teach here, Texas history, so I've known him since I was a 7th grader. I've worked for Mr. Wade for a total of 32 years, which is the entire time I've been at Fairfield. He's impacted my life as an educator because first he was my teacher. I also had him again my senior year for government. He's not just a great principal and a great educator, but he's also a great friend.
We were both born in the same town. We both came from Abilene, Texas. I would not be where I am today without him. He was giving me a job 3 times. I left a couple of times and he's given me a job 3 times. He's super intelligent, but he has other qualities that go with that distinguish him from among most good leaders. He is the consummate leader.
I graduated from McGregor High School, which is the other side of Waco, in 1973. I graduated from college. I started at A&M, but there were too many people at A&M. So after a year, I transferred to Tarleton State University, which is in Stephenville. I graduated there in May of 1977. And then once I started teaching here in Fairfield, I got interested in becoming a principal, and so I had to get a mid-management certification, which is in process of a master's too, and I got that probably like 1985 from Stephen F. Austin.
I first met Mr. Wade when I was about 12 years old, so I've known him for about 40 years. So you can do the math a little bit there and figure out how old I am. But Mr. Wade coached my older brother, and he coached me also when I got a little older, just because he was a coach, so he's Coach Wade to a lot of people, so he was Coach Wade to me. So it took a while for me to get used to saying Mr. Wade, because he was always Coach Wade. But Mr. Wade loves athletics, and people that know him well knows that he loves the different sports and the different Fairfield Eagle sports. But what he loves even more is the academics. He's one of those, when he speaks, like to you students, he's speaking into your life, so he's saying meaningful things that maybe the students don't realize until they get older, like I am now.
I used to meet him up here every morning for coffee. He'd be first and I'd be second. And we'd talk and read the paper and talk about the day's events and the sports and everything else. And it was fun, it really was. That was the highlight of my day, was the morning chats we had. We had water fights in the hall. And he gets kind of upset over stuff like that, but he was fun. We had one where Mr. Butler and I were causing the women to go hysterical first period conference. We were chewing on them pretty good, just berating them. Mr. Wade came in and says, "Y'all got to tone that down." Says, "You're making them all upset." And Mr. Wade was in his office where he was in the office, I can't think which office it is. It's the office as you walk in the door, it's to the left. And I sent a kid in there to paint his office. And he come running out, he says, he ain't painting my office. So he was upset over that. That was funny.
Mr. Wade made me a better teacher. When I became the government teacher here, I heard stories from former students of his about his government teaching days. And because he expected so much, Mr. Wade has little bitty handwriting, and the kids used to tell me that he would write it on the board, and then he would write the notes on the board, and then they'd discuss it. And when I came to get the government, to start teaching the government, he gave me all his stuff. And it was tremendous. And I appreciate his point of view. Mr. Wade, thank you so very much for, I'm going to try not to get emotional. Thank you very much for your friendship. Just enjoy your retirement. I hope you travel. I hope you read lots of books, because I know you already read a lot. And I just wish you the best of luck. And you will tremendously be missed by the board and by the teachers here at the school, and especially in the community, even though we know you'll still be around.
His character, his honesty, his morals.
His fairness, his loyalty, his judgment, his wisdom.
He was a good friend from the very first year I was here. And I've enjoyed his friendship over the years. Really have.
His passion and his commitment to Fairfield High School.
What I admire about Mr. Wade, he's fair, he's conscientious, he loves the school, and he always will.
42 years is a long time, and it's time for someone else to take over and to lead this school. It's just time.